This is Group 3 at the University of South Alabama in Mobile. This is our educational media class, and we have designed a presentation for one of our assignments on how to use a smartboard. And with me today I have my team members. My name is Amanda Lloyd, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
I'm Casey Allen. I'm Christy George. I'm Jessica Sanders.
Pamela Boykin.
And let's get started. Okay, a couple of weeks ago we sent out a questionnaire as part of our assignment. We were instructed to send out a Google Docs form, and we chose to send it out to our entire class here at the university. We have 130 students in our class. 61 students responded, and their response was that they are going to predominantly go into the field of elementary education, and I'll explain that as we get on into our slides. So we titled this, How Smart Are You? Because we wanted to give some instruction on how to use a smartboard as we learn how to use a smartboard. So this slide is called Whack-A-Mole. We got this at the Smart Exchange, where all the slides are free. So you can go in and tailor it to your classroom needs. And we also inserted some sounds from soundbible.com. So let's get into it. This would be a situation in your classroom where you would have students taking a test. And for time purposes, we only have 4 questions today. But question number 1, the student would tap on the Whack-A-Mole figure and then answer the question. They would have in their hands a remote clicker, and they would be able to click in their answer. The teacher would then be able to see their response, and she can almost instantaneously see who understands the concept and who needs a little more work. So our question was, how many EDM 310 students answered Group 3's questionnaire, How Smart Are You? And I mentioned earlier, 61, almost half of our class. We very much appreciate that you answered our questionnaire, and so the answer would be C. Takes it back to the original test page, and just for fun, they can whack the mole. And so that's the sound that we dropped in from soundbible.com. It's very easy to insert a sound. Okay, so then we go to question 2. According to the responses, what education major had the largest percentage of students? And elementary education, you can see here on the bar graph, and this we copied and pasted from the Google Doc file. It was very easy to drop it in. And you can see elementary education, I believe it was 59% of the class. So that's over half of the class that's going into elementary education, and that's why we tailored our presentation to fit your classroom. And my teammates will tell you more about that in a few minutes. Question number 3. What was the dominant learning style for most students in this survey? Were they visual, auditory, or kinesthetic? We learned that most of our classmates feel like they learn best as a kinesthetic learner using hands-on experiences, which the smartboard is well tailored for. But actually, all learning styles are well suited to learning from the smartboard because it incorporates all of those learning styles. But the answer for our purposes was kinesthetic, takes you back, and then we can whack the mole again. And then number 4, which tool did most responders say they plan to use in their future classrooms? And no surprise, smartboard. Who wouldn't? It's, to me, the most fun tool of all of them. And of course, here's our dropped-in graphic from our Google Doc, and that takes you back to the test. And at this point, the teacher would be able to see, again, how her student did or how her class did on the test as a whole. Okay, and I think Casey is next, so she'll be coming back in, and we'll take her to the slide that she'll be presenting. Okay?
Okay, this is the beginning of our presentation, Start Your Day the Smart Way, and we tailored it to elementary class since 59% of the students in our class are wanting to be elementary teachers. And this is our next slide. This is just a little tally of what we need to be doing. The children can unpack their book bags, take out their homework. Let's see. Okay, they could open their folders to a certain page in their textbook. be used for placing it over the different numbers to keep your children from moving ahead. But anyway, this is this page.
This slide could be used for the kids to learn which month, the months of the year. So as you know, this is March. They could either move their finger and slide it down, or they can write it in at the top. And as you can see, this slide, so either they can slide the date in, or they can write it in. Today's the 24th. And they can learn about the days of the week. Yesterday was Wednesday. Today is Thursday. And tomorrow will be Friday. And on the next slide, these are ways that the kids could write how to get home. For example, let's say we had a student and their name was Bob. Bob walks home. So he could say, okay, I walk home. And we have Jane. Jane is a car rider. So Jane would put the little van. Jane could pick the little van up and say, okay, I take the bus home. Next we'll have Roger. Roger takes the school bus home. So the little school bus could go right here. And next we'll have Lisa. Lisa is a daycare student. So Lisa has little daycare. Next we'll have the next slide. This slide here is your weekly weather tally, and the students can come up and either identify whether it's sunny outside, is it partly cloudy, and they can also put the days of the week up there, what day it was sunny, what day it was cloudy, rainy, or windy. And you can also keep up with each day if you want to use it that way. Or you can at least have them come up and spell out the word and place the picture with the word that they spell out. And on our next slide, we have your just in time. With this, it marks, you can start the clock and set it for what time it is that school starts. And once that gets started, the students can then use the clock. If you break off into groups, then they can tell what time they need to go into their next group. Or if they want to keep up with the lunch hour, they have that chance to do that. The teacher can also use the clock as a timer for giving a test. So we also have this clock here. You can hide it digital and just let the students tell time by using just the regular clock itself and not by using the digital way as well. And our next slide will be presented by Ms. Pamela.
Okay, this slide is really good for the concept of math because it teaches you all about kids always love to save money in their piggy bank. So basically what we would do here is we could just slide the money down and ask how much money's in the bank. Okay, the student could either come up, they could write it in, okay, or we even have here, you can put a figure that you would like in here, and it should tell you what it is, but you could put say $1.25 and then have them put how much money is in here, and it would come down. So this is really good for using for math, to make sure in any lesson, you know, you could either come up here and write and have them put it in. So this is a concept that you can really use for math. And on Magic Word Machine, this is really good for spelling, to make sure that our kids understand how to spell words. Like here, you would change this and you would ask them until it came up to a word that is this a real word or not? So I would let them understand the concept of spelling.